Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the latest episode of Ray Donovan. So, a really crazy episode with a lot of stuff that went down. I'm just going to break it down. Let's start off with like Mick's side of the story. Like the moment I was like, okay, at first I was like, okay, you're just gonna get your girl, okay. I was like, I knew that situation was gonna be a little hairy. You heading back to town like that, even though you kind of got kicked out of town, you got let go last time. So I was like, okay, you're just gonna get your girl, and then it's like, oh, I'm actually here to get the 4 million. I was like, oh, Mick, don't do this. I thought the whole point was just to get your girl, and the money. It's just like, oh, Mick, don't do this, because the moment that started happening, unfolding, I was like, oh my god, things are gonna go to crap. I just know it. Granted, things didn't go to crap like I thought they would. They did go to crap, but not. Because I was thinking, like, okay, something's going to happen. Bunch of Teresa's going to get hurt. It was like, oh, this is just going to suck. Did not expect his girl to get hurt, man. That really sucks because after everything he went through, the whole point of it was to have him and her some money so they can go to Boston, start a new life. And when it was all said and done, Mick was like, you know what? I don't even want the money. You guys take it. I don't want a bit of it. It's just like, wow. Like, that's 4 million he's turned down. Like, it legitimate makes you think, like, would Mickey have, like, if that situation were different and it was someone else in his gal's place, like someone else died, would he really turn down that 4 million? But it's because, like, it makes you wonder, is it because he really loved her? Which, I mean, obviously there's no doubt to that, but it's also like, if old Mick who, whereas it was at the beginning of the season, this happened to him, would he have done this? Like, if it was Daryl's mom in this case, like if she had died, would he have like turned down the money or would he kept it? It makes you wonder about that because, you know, Mickey has his scumbag side, but the fact of the matter, it shows you he has changed. So it makes you wonder, would he have done that in the earlier parts of the series, or is it just because, you know, things are changing for him? He's become a slightly better person. I said slightly because he went and tried to pull this scheme, but you can't understand why he did it, because it's like, you know, for him, he wanted a new life. He wanted to take the woman he's in love with, go back to Boston, have a new life, you know, take this opportunity Ray's given him, you know. I mean, that was the plan to begin with anyway, but now, you know, now he had a new lease on life. He was out of jail and everything, that Ray helped him out, so he wanted, I feel like that was extra reason to do it, was because it's like I had to pay Ray back somehow, so I'm gonna get out of his life, not cause him and his family no more trouble. So I thought that was kind of that, but it's just like, I guess when you want it all and you try to aim for it all, you end up walking away with nothing sometimes, and it's sad. Like, he had the girl, had the money, and just lost it all. Like, I hate that guy who's just like, you know, shoot a girl, and his like mixed girl was like, no, 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 pow. It was over like that. I mean, luckily Teresa came to the rescue, just not soon enough. I wish she was able to get there a little sooner. I was wondering if she'd be the one to come to the day, because she was the one in the car and she kind of saw that car pulling up. I was like, okay, Teresa's going to save the day, but don't get yourself hurt. But she didn't. But it just sucks. Because that was almost like, screw you, Mickey, because you're putting Bunty and Teresa's life in danger. I mean, granted, they walked away from the situation. It sucks, dude. Like, he literally walked away with nothing. And it makes you wonder, what's he going to do now? What I found very fascinating was the fact is that, like, Teresa just was like, sorry. And she put her hand on his shoulder and he's just like, you're a good girl. And it's just like, because out of anybody, like, she hates Mickey the most, but, you know, she saw like how he was, like, he lost a woman he loved, and it just, you see it almost gonna break her heart, because she's like, wow, you lost the person you love. And the fact is, like, probably if he was just like, yo, I'm gonna keep that 4 million and blah 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 with it, that probably would have said a lot, being like, oh, he's still himself. But the fact of the matter is, he turned away that 4 million, probably makes her even more like sympathetic to him. It just sucks. I mean, that's kind of interesting too, because we are seeing a little bit more of Teresa kind of coming back to being who she was, possibly. She even said something to their daughter Maria. She's like, hi, baby. And I was just kind of like, oh, sweet. That's why I was like super nervous about, like, please don't. It's like the fact is that was happening. Bunchy's got Teresa back. Teresa was saying hi to the baby. It's just like, I was just so sure something was going to go wrong, but it did, but not as wrong as it could have, but it still sucks. It legitimately makes you wonder what Mick's going to do. Like, where's this story going to take him now? Then we move over to some side stories. I'm going to get to like the Ray side of everything, but some side stories. The whole Marisol situation, Hector was basically paying her to essentially go away. She started a fire, you know, and it looks like basically for what she did, she's going to get arrested. it's kind of crazy because Terry was like, he actually kind of feels bad for her. And the cop lady was like that too, who surprisingly enough is the same cop lady that was kind of slightly hitting on Terry like during the whole purse snatching situation. You know, it was turned out to be Damien was the one that took the purse from Abby. She was asking questions like, oh, did she ever get the purse back? And Terry's like, oh yeah. She's walking around, she's like, okay. And he's like, so would you ever like to go, you know, do you have a boyfriend, do you have a husband? Which, yeah, he has to ask those questions ahead of time, which is like, yeah, just checking to see if you're single. But also, let's not forget the last girlfriend he had was married with a kid, you know, that Terry was just a side piece. That kind of, you know, so I'm sure he was asking for that too. I mean, really, it was mainly just, oh, what was your status? Would it be okay if I asked you out? Because obviously you're single. But it's like, I don't know. Like I said, the last relationship was you were part of an affair. So it's kind of like, to me, I read into it like that. I mean, it was most likely just a, oh, are you single type of question. But like I said, I just read into it like that because of circumstances, you know. And I also see Terry kind of taking a photo with Hector, just being like, you know, kind of like, you see a smile on his face because kind of like, yo, life is turning around. Life is good. So that's kind of nice. Kind of since we're slightly on the Marisol subject, I will say something. I didn't realize who the actress was. It wasn't until like I randomly saw her name somewhere else. I was like, Lisa Bonet. I was like, oh yeah, that's Marisol from Ray Donovan. I was like, but why does her name sound so familiar? And then it clicked on my brain. I was like, oh yeah, she played like the second eldest daughter in a particular sitcom that I feel weird mentioning it, but I didn't realize that was her. And I'm looking at it, I was like, oh, that totally is her, dude. Because you know, it was just something randomly that popped in my mind. You know, I use this as an outlet to talk about actors and stuff like that. So that just kind of got me. Just like we ended up, I forgot what his name was. It's the actor who plays Dimitri in the show, so who's interesting enough Sonya's uncle. I forgot, was it Arlo? I remember he was Raylan's dad from Justified. I was just like, I get like that every time I see him, but it was just, you know, that just kind of popped in my mind. Like I said, I get nitpicky over actors sometimes. Sometimes I'll bring it up in these, and sometimes I don't. There's plenty of cases where I didn't. Like last week's episode, totally forgot to mention the fact it's like, oh, Eric Balfour is in this episode. You know, totally mentioning it now, but you know, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen sometimes. And then like the main side of things, like, you know, speaking of Sonya and Dimitri, it's like, yep, the whole Belikov situation got found out. It's like, of course it did. Like, I don't know. I guess part of me has wondered, like, what was Ray thinking? It's like, you knew someone was going to find that body, but maybe that was the point, to kind of send a message. I mean, granted, no one really knows it was Ray except for, like, Sonya and her people. Like, her kind of fix-it guy, as well as the guy that's kind of like a lawyer or whatever. Like, they're the only two that knew it was Ray, because of the footage and stuff like that. And I love the fact is that, you know, Sonya even asked him, he's like, you killed Belikov. And he's like, yeah, he killed that girl. So it's like, he's not apologetic. He's not like, oh yeah, it was just in the heat of the moment, which it was, but at the same time, it's like, no, he's not apologetic. Like, that piece of crap killed that girl. Like, you know, Ray knew her circumstances, but, you know, it didn't mean, you know, no matter whatever her circumstances were, that doesn't give him the right to kill her like that. She was like an innocent girl that just got caught up in this whole sex trade situation. So that it sucked. Because I was wondering, like, would Ray feel bad about it? Because it was like, was a heat of a moment situation? Did he ever, like, obviously he didn't think of the consequences. Ray rarely does think about the consequences to his actions and what they could, like, the fallout from this. But it seems like, you know, part of him, it did seem like he probably did. Because it was just kind of like, Sonya was like, you know, you signed, it was basically you killing Belikov was basically you committing suicide and you killing me as well, because we're both going to be screwed over. Because apparently her uncle doesn't play around, because apparently he's the same person that killed her dad. And even Sonya was like, she's like, oh no, I'm going to handle this situation. I'm going to talk to Dimitri. Because basically her right-hand man was kind of like, he will kill you and then he will kill both of us. So we're basically screwed in this situation. But she's like, no, I'm going to handle it. And her way of handling it was getting all her money, getting her daughter out of school early, and trying to run. Well, essentially she wasn't going to run because she knew she wouldn't make it far on her own. Well, no, she did, because she mentioned the fact that she tried to take flights out, but Dimitri basically cut off her lifeline, so she couldn't really go anywhere. He cut her off, so I guess cut off access to any, like, people she could trust to help her get out of town. It's like Dimitri probably got to him, and so, like, it was no longer an option for her to run. away. So she went to Ray, which led to an interesting conversation between her and Abby from like this little sit down they had. And then you have like Sonia bringing up Abby's cancer and stuff like that. She's like, really? You're going to like casually talk about my cancer like that? Like bringing it up like you really know me? She's like, oh, you're all apologetic about it and stuff like that. And essentially kind of basically been like, oh, I'm sorry. It was very like essentially insensitive of me to talk about your cancer. It's like, Abby's like, no, talking about my cancer is not insensitive. What's insensitive is you coming here after having sex with my husband and just kind of, and be kind of running things down, be like, don't worry, you're not the first one. Like, it's like, oh, you slept with my husband because you had cancer. Is that what you're saying? It's like, you're not the first one. I've been in this situation before. This ain't the first time I found myself in a situation with like Ray's cheating. She's like, for goodness sake, he has his own, separate apartment. So it's kind of like, she's like, basically, I know where I am in his priorities, which is sad that she sees herself like that. She still loves him and he loves her, but she does she sadly views herself as like, yeah, I know where I am in his priorities. Like, I know my place in the grand scheme of things when it comes to Ray. And it's kind of sad because he does love her. Like, it's just, he cannot help himself. I was like I said, I brought it up in a past episode. I was like, oh, Ray, it's a new season. You haven't cheated. Things between you and Abby are good. And you turn around and you cheat with Sonia. Out of anybody, Sonia, the lady that put you in this situation, first, why? Makes you wonder what was going through his head. It's like, maybe you think, I don't know, maybe it's a combination of his childhood or whatever, everything that happened to him when he was a young kid, which I'll get to that in a second. Maybe that led to him, being the way he is, kind of like in a situation with Marisol, kind of having like, effed up relationships. It did seem like he was kind of clearing the past because like his little place he keeps all like, it seems like everything connected to the past. It seems like anything he collects connected to people. I don't know whether that's specifically his or was that originally Ezra's and it was his as well. It seems like not unless that was purely Ezra's one that they were getting rid of all of that stuff from. Because remember last episode, he was kind of trying to clear away some stuff for the Texans so that his daughter wouldn't find out about who he is and what he really does. But it looks like Ray's kind of cleaning house with all this stuff, like all the stuff Ezra was keeping to basically blackmail people to keep them in his pocket and stuff like that. I guess Ray just, seeing the Texan made him realize just kind of that. Makes him realize just how much of a bad person him and Ezra are, I think, to a certain degree, because even Avi was like, I see what you're trying to do. You're not trying to get rid of things, you're trying to get rid of memories, It's like basically talking about how the fact is Ezra is a wise man, but it seems like Ray's trying to erase, like, because we saw some of the stuff he threw away was partly with, we saw that like ID of that priest who molested him and Bunchy. So like we saw that wallet. It just seemed like he's burning a lot of stuff, trying to burn away the past essentially. But like, because I don't know how to interpret that scene. Like I said, I don't know whether it's him 100% burning away all Ezra's stuff, so he doesn't, no more people can be held back by Ezra's stuff, especially considering the fact that Ezra is gone. People shouldn't be bound by a ghost, essentially, or whether he's just kind of getting rid of his own demons. Like whether that was, like I said, his room with all that stuff in it, or was it Ezra's, or whether the combination of the two. I don't know. I mean, I guess maybe there's a clear-cut answer, but to me, it just seems like it's up to interpretation. Maybe it's not, but to me it was. But when it was all said and done, the situation was very fickle. And like, I love the fact is that Ray, I guess in a way it was to show you, is like, no, he values Abby, especially because she's knee deep in all this stuff. Now she knows the truth about what he does. Basically, Sonya's like, we can talk in private. And Ray looks at Abby, he's like, nah, whatever you can say in front of me, you can say it in front of Abby. And basically it's like brought up the whole Belikov situation. And it's just like, help me get me and my daughter out of here. And basically, yeah. Like, you can't talk to Dimitri. It's not going to go well. You're just going to end up dead. It's just going to screw you over. And so Ray basically makes the decision. He's like, okay, I'm going to get you and your daughter out of here. Which everyone, Avi, Lena, and even Abby are like, F no. Like, Avi and Lena are like, yo, we should just kill her. It would be so much easier. Even Sonia later on, after he helps her, she's like, why are you doing this? He's like, what do you mean? She's like, it would literally be easier to kill me. And then Ray's like, no, it wouldn't. I guess because, Ray doesn't actively want to kill people. He beats people up. Yeah, that's part of his quote unquote job, but he doesn't actively want to kill people, especially in her situation. Yes, she got mixed up in some heavy stuff, particularly what it seems like it's a family business. I thought she was just a rich lady that just, wanted to expand and ended up getting caught up in the stuff. It's like, no, it seems like it's family business because her uncle kind of runs the operation. He was the one that actually found, him and his men were the ones that found Belikov's body, so. But another side of it is because she has a daughter. He's not about to kill you and leave your little girl all alone. He's not a heartless monster in that regard. But I think it's also because Ray himself is making changes. He's not trying to be that guy anymore. I don't know. It kind of sucks that this all kind of came back at him because that cop lady dragged Mickey back into this. And she's not even around to help him because she got killed. So basically, Ray's had to deal with this whole situation on his own. He even got visited by the FBI agent. What was his name? Barnes? Was that? Well, he was originally an FBI agent. I don't know if he actually still is. Basically, him and Ray cut ties because Ray was like, you helped me this one last time, you'll never see me again. He basically came to Ray as like, if, crap is about to hit the fan, so you need to, like, tell me about this whole situation. He's like, oh, you got caught up in the Russians, didn't you? Because he found out about Belikov and everything. It's just like, but Ray didn't say anything to him. So that must mean we're going to be seeing him soon enough. Because I was going to because side note, what about Cochran? Like, we haven't seen him since the whole showdown with the Texan like 2 episodes ago. So it's like, what happened to that situation? Did he get paid or what? I mean, granted, I guess he decided to get out of Ray's face before he ended up dead. But nevertheless, it's like, wonder is he going to pop up anymore? Or is Barnes going to be the FBI guy to be, yo, I'm going to help you out of this situation, Ray, even though you've kind of screwed me over in the past and used me, blackmailed me. I'm going to help you out with this situation. Maybe. I don't know. But I really liked the fact is that Abby was like, basically with this whole situation, she's like, essentially, basically, because Ray was going to send her off to Boston with the kids so she could stay with her sister. And Abby's like, no, did you forget I killed a guy? So I'm not the innocent wife that you have to protect. I'm knee deep in this with you. We stick together. And because, Ray's like, I don't want you caught up in this. I don't want you to die. I don't want to lose you. It's like, you got your cancer. Plus, I don't want you here because, if stuff goes down, it'll just be me here to deal with it. I don't want you being here. But she's like adamant about it, like, no, I'm going to do this. So Ray's like, okay, you stay with me and we'll basically get the kids out of here with, we'll have Deb pick them up. Like I said, I don't know, like, what's going to happen here. Like in that regards, because it's like, I feel like the kids are going to, like, we haven't seen, like, Bridget in a while. Obviously, we saw Connor, like, last episode, but we haven't seen Bridget for a while. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have to say about this, like, next episode, like, what their circumstances. They're going to like, did mom kill someone else again, or are there people after us? It makes you wonder, like, where they're going to go, like, especially now that Connor knows how to properly handle a gun. Will he be kind of thrown into this fight? Like, is it going to be a situation where his dad or his mom's in danger and he shows up and, like, kills someone? Makes you wonder. I feel like the fact is they're making Connor learn how to properly shoot a gun from Abby makes you think, like, that's going to come up later on. Just a little foreshadowing. It's just all I take from that. But I'm very interested. The fact is that Ray let Sonya live. I mean, like I said, trying to be a better person. But sadly, it ends with Avi getting the crap beat out of him because he's surrounded by Dimitri's guys. The lawyer dude's there with him, so I'm guessing he's no longer on Sonya's side. Basically, he's looking out for himself in this case. So, because Avi was going there just to deal with the lawyer, because it's like Lena already dealt with the right-hand man, which I was scared of that department too, because Ray was like, don't do this, you don't have to do this, let me send Avi with your backup. She's like, no, I got this. And I was like, oh, please don't be a situation where you want to kill Lena, please don't kill Lena. And it's like, nope, she handled the situation. I was like, oh, thank God. And then I saw Avi, I was like, wait, are we going to flip the script? And it's like, yep, Avi's the one that's in trouble, gets the crap beat out of him by all those dudes. And it's like, basically Dimitri is like, bring me my niece and I'll give you back. And it's just like, me. But it's not like Ray can do that, because the moment he gets the call, Sonya's already up in the air, and it's just like, what is he going to do? It's just, things just keep going from bad to worse, and it's just like, how is Ray going to find himself, work his way out of the situation? I hope on everything Avi doesn't die, but it's just, you don't know how things are going to play out in this scenario. It's just with things being what they are. I mean, I'm pretty sure when it's all said and done, Dimitri's gonna end up dead because that's the only way they're getting out of this situation. I mean, the fact of the matter is, Sonya was like, "Do not make a deal with Dimitri. If you do not, because if you do, he in the end, he will kill you." And it's like, I feel like Ray might be enforced in a situation where he has to do some stuff for Dimitri to kind of fix things between them. Which I don't know, maybe at this point in time, it might not be possible because Ray's basically killing Belikov basically screwed over their business. That was one of his partners, and it's like, you killed him, so it's kind of like, yeah, that kill someone important to you, essentially. Or basically, like I said, make Ray work for him. I don't know. I'm so curious to see where everything goes from here. But that's really all I want to talk about. To the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.